Going on to the superstructure sidewalls now, and the grids on me modelling mat is 42 centimetres long, the grids, and this is pretty much 42 centimetres long. I've left them on the sprue because I'm going to spray them on the sprue. Turning this over, I've got my 1mm masking tape out, and I've masked off the grooves on the inside of the superstructure sidewall that are going to accommodate the decks. So they go down the length of the superstructure sidewall. Now you got that one there, which is going to be for the top deck. You got that one there is going to be for the middle deck, and you got the bottom one, but that's not a groove. It's just these little raised pieces, much like, you know, when I was gluing the rigging thread and you had them little channels. These are the same, but they're just slightly more raised. So you got one there, you got one there, you got one there, and then the final one's there. The reason I've masked the grooves off is because I want it to be bare plastic to that, the sides of the decks, because there's a little bit of paint on the sides of the decks, but not that much. That's why I've masked these off. So that's just my 1mm masking tape. And then what I did, just to flatten them down into the grooves, I just got the edges of my tweezers and just went like that, worked my way along. So now I've just got to primer these now, and then spray white them. I've now primed the superstructure sidewalls now. Not looking too bad. The primer's brought out the detail really nice on both sides. And I'll turn it over. Oh, I've missed a bit there. Probably didn't get up that corner as well. But generally the detail ain't too bad, you know. So all I've got to do now is just spray paint these white. Right, I've now spray painted the superstructure sidewalls in the white on the sprue. Did these yesterday afternoon stroke yesterday evening. I did the top first, the outside detail. It's not looking too bad if the camera's picking it up. So I did the first coat on the top yesterday afternoon, left it, get it a good light dusting, and then left it for about an hour or so to dry. Then I finished it off with a second coat, give that about just over an hour to dry. And then early evening yesterday, did the underneath, again with the light dusting of the white, left it about an hour and a half to dry, and then topped it up with the second coat. And then I bought these in about 9 o'clock last night. Left it on my table here to, you know, just to settle. And it's not looking too bad. I've still got to take the tape off where I'd put it in the grooves. But these are now ready to be cut off a sprue, test fitted, and then eventually fitted to the sidewalls of the decks. Right, I'm now gluing the left hand side wall onto the sides of the deck, and you can probably tell by my voice I'm very pissed off indeed, because aligning these into the channels is proving to be a right bitch. Now I cut the left hand one off the sprue, sanded it down where the little bits of excess sprue am, test fitted it, and it just, I could tell that this was going to be a pain in the arse right away. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to have to plod on, it's got to be done. So I just ran the glue down all three channels, well, the top and the middle channel, and the line where I took the tape off for those 4 rectangular channels. And the alignment again is proving to be a right pain in the arse, because you've got these raised sections here, here, and that's it. The raised sections, I had to align the front fascia of the bridge deck to that observation bit there. Once I got that aligned, these raised sections wouldn't click into place. So I had to push down on the deck. I heard it click into place, then I heard a secondary click. So I got the clamp on almost immediately with the sheet plastic on the other side to give my clamp something to clamp onto. Again, on this raised section at the front here, that wouldn't push into place, so I had to push here and I had to push down here on the deck to get that to click into place. Then again I heard a secondary click. The only problem being that my fingers touch these 3 rigging lines and you can see they're slightly slack, so I'm going to have to re-slacken those and re-tauten them once I get the other sidewall on. So I've got my clamp on that there, but the good thing is once it clicked in here, the rest of this raised section actually clicked into place perfect. So I'll put a clamp here. Then on the middle deck here at the back, that wouldn't click into place, so I've had to push down, click and get this clamp here. Then I went on to the front section when I checked everything I think is aligned, and this one bottom piece here, that wouldn't line into the actual those 2 grooves, those 2 raised channel groove things, so I had to clamp that. Now once I realised all that was done and I heard that secondary click, I'm hoping the middle deck's clicked into place because I can't see the middle deck. The bottom with them 4 bloody little strategically placed grooves, those have aligned in perfect, so I'm hoping the middle's going in as well. Now you can probably see the gap there on the lowered section of the superstructure sidewall. That top deck should be down a couple of mils. So once I take these clamps off on the raised sections, I'm going to have to figure a way how to push this, because this is loose. I can actually push this with my finger. So I'm going to have to try and push these down and re-clamp again. What a pain in the arse. I'm just hoping it all works out in the end. I really, really do. This is do or die now. Gluing the right side of the superstructure sidewall on now. The right side has been a bit more well behaved. It's slotting quite well, and with the struggles I was with the left hand side that I had yesterday, and I was a bit more pissed off. Today I'm a bit more jovial. Slotted into place really well at the front here. Didn't really have to push down on the deck. On these middle section here with the raised section, I had to push the deck down a little, but it clicked into place. I heard a bit of a second click, so I put my clamps there, put my clamp there. I didn't really need to clamp it as much as the left side. On the left side I did these, I thought to myself, when I remember I said, how am I going to get these decks to go down? Using my little scissor clamps, I got them to go down after I took the clamps off for the left side. I've done that the same way this time, where I've done it all in one, and it seems to be going down a hell of a lot better than it did on the left side. Now this bit here, there's a bit of a gap because I've run out of clamps. So when I take the clamps off in a couple of hours time, I'm going to re-clamp that back bit there, because when I was doing this with the top deck clamps with my scissor clamps, on that side it popped out, that bit there, so I had to re-clamp that back in. But the right side has gone in a hell of a lot better. Let's see what happens in 3 hours time when I take the clamps off, once the glue's dried. Right, still working on the right hand side of the superstructure sidewall. I took all the clamps away and it glued really well, not too bad, but the certain aspects of the slightly lowered parts of the top deck hadn't glued in properly. So I put some more glue where it hadn't gone down properly, got my 3 scissor clamps with the orange grippers, put them into place. Then I put my pressure clamps in, so that those will be gluing in from the side, so it's pushed down and glued in from the side. So that those are gluing in now. They've been gluing for about 10 minutes. Where those 2 orange clamps there, the scissor clamps, that was slightly raised again. So I put, like I said, I ran a bit more glue, got them in, and then got my pressure clamps to do the side work. And that bit where I hadn't glued it in well, I didn't bother gluing it at all. I've now ran the glue down that channel, it's clicked into place, and now that's setting. So hopefully this will be the last of the gluing of the right side. Taking the clamps off the right side of the superstructure sidewall, and it is looking really nice, not too bad. I mean, it ain't 100%. I mean, you can see there's like a very, very minuscule gap. But I think that's the best I can do, to be honest. I mean, you can see a little sticking out slightly. It ain't 100% straight, but it's better than it was. I mean, what I might be able to do is just get a bit of teak down there, maybe tidy them up, and hopefully, you know, them black lines will disappear. But it's gone in a hell of a lot better than the left side. Now on the left side, got a bit of tidying up to do there, where the glue is. So I'll probably just get my little makeshift sanding little stick to get that in there, neaten that up. But where I'd had the issues and I was really pissed off that it wouldn't glue down, like I said, I'm a lot more jovial now. And also, what I noticed as well, the rigging lines on smokestack number 2 where I touched it, was it smokestack number 2? On one, whichever the smokestack was, I think it was this one. They've retorted themselves for some reason. I noticed it when I was gluing the right side in, and I got the clamps. You know, a couple of hours later, once it dried, I noticed they'd actually retorted themselves, and I don't know how it's done it, but they don't look nowhere near as loose as they did from the left side gluing. I'm really well relieved I haven't. I mean, I might have to retort them, I don't know yet, we'll see what happens. I've now test fitted it into the top of the hull now. As it says on the plans, you got these little dinky, trying to get the bloody camera to focus, you got these little dinky tabs sticking out. There's 4 on them in each side, and they actually locate themselves, there we go. They locate themselves into the mounting channels on the hull itself. Getting that in was quite easy. I just had to get my curved tweezers and just get in there slightly and just like prise the hull out just a touch, because I'd glued those in. What it might be worth you doing, actually don't glue them in, just slot them in, because it was a tight fit. And like I said, just like pull them out, ease them out slightly. But once all 4 in the one side, and then I did it again on the other side, they just slotted into place. I haven't even glued that yet, but the actual where it joins is perfect. It was like it was made for it. It just like sits right on top with no problems at all. I mean, I might have to push that out a little bit, but that ain't too bad. It sits on there perfect. Really well chuffed indeed how this has finally turned out, even with all the difficulties that I had.